Do a little scenario here of some of the different types of recording for Adobe. First one is called overdubbing. Overdubbing. So here we got a little music bed. And what I'm going to do is play the music bed underneath me while I do a voiceover. And it won't sound good in this case because I'm in my office, but what you can do is put it in single mode, put this in record mode. Of course, I'm going to have feedback if I do it in my office because it'll loop through, but I can put it in record mode, lay my voice track, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The music bed would play in the background and you'd be good to go. And you would have your music bed and your voiceover all on this track. Now this helps students to have the energy. Their voice will match the energy of the music bed. Sometimes when students lay down their music bed, their voiceovers, it's typically sometimes has lower energy than the music bed they select. In this case, it helps when you have the music bed underneath you. So that's overdubbing. You're just laying your voice over, in this case, a music bed at the same time, and you're overdubbing and having it dubbed to track 1. You can also punch in. Let's say we want to punch something in the middle of this particular track. You can do many different things to punch things in. You can actually just not even do anything, but let's say here you have a mess here. You know, you messed up your script, you're struggling, but you want to start about right here and redo the script. Just put it in record mode and we'll release this, we'll mute these, and off you go. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am now punching in. There we go. So when you play this back, turn this up. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am now punching. And I punched in. So you can tell it didn't play the back track. That is behind it. Still got the old one there, but now you got a little punch in. That's what we call the punch in, and it's ready to go. Now, if we were to bounce to a new track, most of you guys already know how to do this, but this is just typically an easy right click. What we're going to do is bounce everything to a separate track. So let's say we want all these items on a separate track. If you don't want all the items, let's say you just want to have, let me go back up here. Let's say you just want these 2 tracks. Let's put them here. To bounce, you just highlight them. Go to bounce to a new track, select the clips only. Bam. There it is. You can see there's the stinger and there's the music bed. And again, that's just a simple right click, bounce to new track. And you may ask, what's the purpose of this? Well, when you have a lot of items going on, especially like musicians, you may want to bounce some of those background vocals, cymbals, other instruments, and bounce them to a different track so you can open up more tracks. And you can see here, we now have an open track. I can actually delete these now if I wanted to, because I have it all done right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Testing. There you go. That's bouncing to a new track. Next one is voice doubling. I'll mute this. Voice doubling is nothing more than what it sounds like. We're just going to right click, hold, copy, right? This voiceover, lay it here, copy here. Again, that's a right click, hold. And if we play these back, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The music bed will play in the background and you'd be good to go. Little voice doubling. Sometimes you can put a little effect on it by just moving it slightly. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The music bed would play in the background and you'd be good to go. Little example of what you can do with voice doubling. I just barely moved this other track and it gave it a phasing effect, which is an effect that, voiceover guys use. You can use in special effects. Special effects on your voice. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The music bed will play in the background and you'd be good to go. There you go. Little voice doubling. And you can imagine if you do multiple of those, you can create an interesting effect, or if you have multiple different voice tracks with backup vocals, lead vocals, and things of that nature, what you would do is just start laying those down, and you can actually create a sense that there's more people than one singing that particular lyric. And that'll be a good example for music. Now, as I said, if you want to lay multiple voices, and of course instruments, cymbals, backup vocals, and keep going down, what we're doing is what we call stacking. And that's another method, stacking. You can just stack different items related to your production all the way across the screen. Of course, you want to zoom out so you can see all those as you extend the length of your production. But in the end, stacking is one of the many methods that makes digital editing really, really, really helpful. Last one is dovetailing. Dovetailing is easy. It's just nothing more than taking a couple of clips and cross-fading them. Dovetailing. Around and you'd be good to go. Testing one. I want to bring that a little bit closer. Give a little different effect. Play in the background and you'd be testing 1, 2, 3. Move it around a little bit. But dovetailing is nothing more than creating a conversation. So if I had two different tracks, let's say I delete this one, let's record a new one, mute. And let me go ahead. I'm going to have a little feedback here, so I'm going to pull this back. Let's say I did this. Well, thank you for the demonstration, Dr. Nelson. That was very nicely done. I'll delete this one. Well, you're welcome. And anytime, you just ask me any questions you have. And I appreciate your time. So now I can, create a sense of a conversation. You can dovetail this way. You can dovetail this way. See the little blue line? That's indicating they're lined up perfectly. Lined up perfectly there, but if you dovetail, you can dovetail with a crossfade. Demonstration, Dr. Nelson. That was very nicely done. Well, you're welcome. And anytime, you just ask me any questions you have. You can move it up here, play with it a little bit. That was very nicely done. Well, you're welcome. And anytime, you just ask me any questions you have. Pull that back a little bit. And there's your audio, of course. And then you can come over here and put a little effect on it. Go to special, do a vocal enhancer. We'll stick with the male. And, have some fun with it. Very nicely done. Well, you're welcome. And anytime, you just ask me any questions you have. And I appreciate you. And that's called dovetailing. All right. That's a little demonstration of those areas: overdubbing, punching in, bouncing, voice doubling, stacking, and dovetailing. See you later.